in transcription. Okay, so I will turn off the camera. So today we discuss a little bit more with the detail about the objects, strings, array, map set, and also the loops, which you can apply for array. So basically, object. This is a very basic structure in JavaScript. In object, you can collect and store some key values, entries, and properties.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you make the screen bigger?
Yeah. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, now.
Better. So, an object is a set of properties, key value entries, and property key can only be a string or a symbol. And the value, it might be string, number, Boolean, function. That's all. Yeah, basically that's all. So I'm just highlight, yes, a little bit more. You know why I didn't want to start to share in a full screen, because I would like to show you some. Here, for example, we have how we can get the property access, but here didn't highlight a few interesting facts about the strings, key strings, and also I need some moment for moment. I found in previous time that I can do something with. Oh, yeah. Just would like to find a mouse, touch mouse. Oh, find it. So this, yeah. That's what I want. So I would like to highlight for you such interesting key, some interesting facts about keys for object. So you could see that all these keys is a string, and also what does it mean? It means that here should be, the full string. What I would like to say you that I would like to show you some incorrect variants of creating strings here. So, for example, just discuss the same car, and as you see, we might the variants of key might be string, and this string should be, for example, in these brackets, not brackets, how to call it? Okay, let's call it brackets. Okay, so here you might type some text or one key, for example, color, and it might be red. Also, you can call color like this, and it will be okay, red. But you cannot text here the value of the key, like color of the car, of my car, and it will be red. No, it's in this variant definitely incorrect. It should be string once again. Here might be string. Actually, this is correct. The value might be string. The value might be number. And it might be Boolean. I'm talking about, for example, is it works? Is work. Okay, true, for example. It might be function. Car say, and it might be function like this. What else? And just pay attention. One word, usually one word. It might be a few words, but they are usually should be separated by underscore or hiplen, how it's called. Forgot always. So this sign, okay, or you should text it in camel case, and that's easiest way how you can read the word correctly. Okay. So also go to our presentation. Also, you can. So when you create an object, you collect there some data. You would like to have an access to this data, okay? So how we can do this? We can do this calling by dot, like Baba Yaga dog. So also we can use this method in bracket notation. What does it mean? It means that here in brackets and as a string parameter, you should mention it here. And we don't have it here, but for example, once again, car dot color, console.log, run. Once again. And yeah, red here. So also, if, for example, in this slide, we don't have such example, like, for example, you need the collect the property of the object in somehow, but you need the store in some variables. And then, for example, color should be like this, color. Maybe it's incorrect, but CL maybe something like this. And const, you can call this car still in brackets. Here should be value which is in these brackets, square brackets, have string, but this string might be like color. Yes, but also it might be like variable with the value of this key. No, but not in this, like this. Okay. And for example, if I call it in a console log, just show you that it works. Yeah, correct. Right. Okay. And continue. So here is a string in brackets, then calling some function, calling the method of the object, you might do in this way. So also you can call, because this function, this key is a string, but anyway you can call it like a function. So car type, this is in the previous slide we had inside of object we have key with a value which is object also, so we can call each object every time if it exists in the object. So, and for example, if we don't have such values, for example here we don't have a piece, and we don't see this, and sometime, for example, this is two differences, that here there is object but we don't have such keys, but here we don't have this object definitely, and then you will see this error that Baba Yaga isn't identified. Then how we can create object? We can create object in two ways. Actually, this is the first variant which you could see here. Just define the variables and equal with square brackets. And also, we can create object with the constructor functions. For example, like here, just new weak constructor. The variable weak instance returns as an object. Object defined using new, and this is constructor function. Sometimes it is possible, but definitely not good, defining some constructor function without new. You will face with some issues which is not good actually. So about the naming, which must be always descriptive. Sometimes you simply cannot find a good name for a variable or function. This is pretty normal as software engineer, and usually we have two root cause for that. If you cannot, so you have here just a funny reason, but usually if you cannot imagine some name for the variables, it's just easiest way. This is to define the variables using some verb and what this function do. So get, set, apply, and so on. And about return something slide, we can call a constructor without new. However, returning something is never a good sign. And what here is meaning that if we don't know what should be returned, this is, just like an example why we cannot use constructor without new. Definitely, first variant, this is because in a weak constructor, people don't change variable will be a global variable after such calling, and sometimes it might be, might affect your code, and you will spend a lot of time to find the issues here. And also in the second picture. Here is a issue in use strict variable declaration, use strict declaration, which is also incorrect. About objects. I would like that you will take a look more closer to objects using MDN site by yourself, because in the presentation, there is almost nothing interesting. Object. And yeah, here. And here we have few interesting and useful methods and properties which you can definitely use by yourself working with object. For example, assign entries. I just highlight a few of them, okay? I cannot mention all of them, but which will be definitely useful for you. This is assign entries. Once again, keys, values here. Set property of, maybe seal. Not usually see this, but yeah. Why you need these methods? Assign help you to create new object. Entries, keys, and values help you to work with object. For example, as you can understand that in object we have keys and values, and sometimes we don't need to work with keys and values. Sometimes from object you just need values, and you can work with this array somehow. Or for example, you need just keys, and using these two methods you can easily get them without additional information, and it will be faster to work with these values. Does it make sense for you? I'm just thinking right now about some examples. Definitely examples you will find here, how to work with object in more wider way. But so here let's take a look here at the simple way. Maybe it's something with no, seems like this is just error, some error here. Yeah, it will be better. Is it okay? Or maybe I just need to show you it like this. Okay. So, for example, in this object we have ABC, and we have their values, string, number, and boolean. Actually, it's not so big issue, not big deal, which is value right now here. But if you would like just to work with some 42 and false values, with values from this object, just just call values here. And you will see that it's returned you a new array with only values, and keys, just keys. And after this, here is this is just an example, but in work we usually keys object define for some values, and next work with this key object, sorting them, looping them, and so on. And these entries, this is a method which is return an array. in a way like usually this works for some loop, which is return you key and value as a pair, but into different constant. Let's take a look just into this example. And object one, yes. Just clear it. So you could see that it returns you a pair. And you know, the first key, the second value, just easier to use it. So let's go back to our presentation. Is it all about it? Yeah, it's all about objects here. Let's talk about a string. String, this is a set of all ordered sequences of 0 or more 16-bit unsigned entries value. So basically what I would like to talk about the string. So you will take a look at this slide more closer, but what you need to remember that in a computer all letters have their own code, and usually string is a text contains 16-bit Unicode characters. For example, here we have an omega sign, and here we could see their 16-bit Unicode characters, right? For example, for our keys in our keyboard, we have some other values, and you know, this is compiled to letter A will compile in some value. I don't remember exactly which one, but you will face with it when you will face with events. But anyway, the string, this is a set of values, and you can work with this string by using some ways and methods. So first, and how we can identify the string. The string you can identify by a single quote, double quote, or for example, you can concatenate them. And in you know, you in the previous lesson, it was discussed about ECMAScript, and in ECMAScript 2015 or 16 has appeared template literals, which is one more special way how we can identify the string. You could see it here. So this sign is called apostrophe, so you can identify the string with apostrophe sign, but it has more values than in other identifying string methods. So, for example, if we use sign or single quote or double quote, if we would like to join some strings, few strings into the one, you need to concatenate them using plus. And one interesting and important thing that, for example, not like this, I will show you in a JS video this. So if we identify the string in such methods, just to run this, we will see, sorry, console.log. We will see that the string in this way looks okay, right? We can text a plus, again add something, run, and see that, for example, we forgot about the space. We need to add the space here. And then now it looks okay. Why I'm focusing on this? Because also we can concat the strings. Also, we can just give me a second, I will show you. This is just one string without any concatenating. But for example, if you just add some new paragraph here, what you will see? Invalid. Okay, it might be. Okay, so what I would like to show you that you cannot save all paragraphs or breaks between the strings in such method with using quote or double quote, single quote or double quote. But if you would like easily to save all, maybe here something with, yeah. In such method, you could see that the break have been stored. Okay, so in this way, you just need to remember that this variant more easier to way. It can store all breaks in your texts. So if you would like to copy some big paragraph or just big article, if you use apostrophe brackets or apostrophes, you just easier copy and use this text or big variable. But for example, if you would like to use the single or double quote, so in this way it will be okay, but it might be okay. But if you would like to add new line, you just need first add plus, and then it might be okay. Yes, it might be okay, but again, we forget about the space. And also about not just new string, but if you would like to anyway, you would like to use only one string and with a few paragraphs, you need to use some special symbols like this. No, not like this. Need them to like this. No. Okay, so we have a few special symbols such as /n, and it helps you to create a break like this. So backspace, for example, character stabilization, /n line feed, which is I have no idea honestly why it not works here. Maybe not in this way. It should used in string definitely. Maybe like this. Ah, yeah, closer to the text. So sometimes it's not, you should see that it's not convenient. You should remember all these string escape sequences. So yeah, I really recommend you use the template literals. In most projects, they are allowed right now, and in this way, it's easier to use also some variables. For example, here, antagonist, there is antagonist variable, and you just easily use it. Just text in sign dollar and square bracket and put here your variable. So just to compare, if you would like to use old string, you just need to text a plus, and don't forget about some spaces, some special signs, and so on, so on. So, do you have this question about the strings? Okay. Here also we have some special signs, which is, I don't know how it's called in English. Sorry. The musical sign, right? So cliff, right? As I remember it called. What does it mean? Sometimes, again, the symbols more useful and popular here, and also no, not here. And also we have a lot of big special signs and others. Other how they call special characters, which you can use. Here you just see more popular. Or you can Google it by yourself and see others, which might be cliff or something else. Don't forget about backspace. Don't forget about some spaces and BSP. It's called like this. You know it? I hope you should know it. And BSP like this and starts like this. So and when you will use it in HTML, for example, you will see in your text the space, right? So don't forget about something hidden values. So also let's continue. So string access characters, we can get some we can get some charts using calling as an array, but it's you should remember that this is not definitely not array, but you can call them by index of these characters. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So and also you can use the char add method. The last character you can call using like length -1, and please don't remember that you cannot you cannot reassign the characters using two variants like in an array or something like this. It's impossible. And what else? And also I would like to highlight a few useful methods to work with the strings. For example, we just discussed chart add. Also, we have such methods with concat, includes, index of. There are many of them. Are listed here, and also, of course, you can find them in MDA in more more variants. Strings. Specification. See also where we have methods. Here also, definitely. This new format isn't convenient. And not like this. Not this. So let's I will back to this just a bit later, but right now, again, chart that we've just discussed. Here a few other methods, but I will highlight just a few of them, which is useful and very often you can use them. Concat, this is a method. Join two or more strings and return a new string. You should remember that if you try to combine two strings, this method will return new string. This is important. Includes such methods there is in array. Also, the work is pretty similar. In a string, this method for string, this is return specific substring. Not return, check if the string has some specific substrings. For example, what word letter, we can check if this letter have a T letter. So it returns true. It will return true or false. Index of, return the index of the first accurate of the specified value in a string. Also, there is a last index of, located compare. We will take a look at this more closer. Match, very when you work with the string, this is a popular method, but actually not so popular, you know, when you would like to talk about an interview about some methods for string, but actually for me it was not popular method to working with strings. Repeat replace, how to duplicate some strings or copy it in from original strings, and replace, how to replace some string in a string. Search, so what is here important, returns the index of the first match and returns an index. Slice split works with strings, and also trim, removing the spaces from start and from the end of the string, and also in last ECMAScript was added trim start, trim end, something like this, just for removing some spaces from start and from the end. And also lowercase and uppercase, yeah, these methods useful. Usually to lowercase, you know, the best practice, if you would like to compare the string, for example, if you know that it might be, it's not important to use, no, maybe better to text it. So, for example, in your task, sometimes might be you might face with the case that you need to compare some value with a string. And in this way, if you need that, you don't need to be, you're not sure that this value, for example, you will face with some if case, with some if block, and here will be value which is equal to, let's be a letter word. It's not important actually. So you don't know, will it be value in your side like this, or it might be like this, or it even might be, you know, like this letter, and you know, so on. There is a different cases. In this case, usually, if you would like to be sure that this value definitely the same, and you don't need to worry about the case of the letters, just compare. Just compare it using to uppercase or to lowercase, just to convert it to some case, and it will be definitely correct comparison with a string. Okay. Hope it's clear, because sometimes I'm switching from one idea to another, but let me know if you lost in my thoughts. Okay, so and let's take a look through some methods. You will take a look at this method closer by yourself. I highlighted almost all of them, but for example, here just need to remember that sometimes if you have number, you might convert them to string. Or for example, if you have a string, which is, you know, the string 1, 2, 3, 4, you absolutely sure that in this string usually will be, I'm talking about, you get from the server some data, and this is data, this JSON have an object, and inside of this object have a value, for example, price, and it comes to you as a string. But you definitely know that in other cases, not in other, in all cases, it will be some numbers, 1, 2, 3, 500, 1000, and so on, but always it will be like a string. But in some case, you need to work with this number as a number, not like string. You might easily convert it, just call a number, boolean for boolean, and string for string. Okay. So also number has such property as infinity, and it's possible to check it. Also here, here is just an example how you cannot create a string. The string using uString, not good way to create. And here, search for substring. We've discussed that first of all, index of is returning some index. And for example, for substrings, we have few methods which you can work with. This is a slice, substring, and substr. So what should know about here? Slice. So for example, okay, some of them might just cut in some string and return this substring. For example, you have a string. Let's take a look just a little bit closer to this. Yeah, about, for example, for substring method, we have a string just providing some indexes. It returns ri. From second character to fourth character, it should be returned 2 letters, and you see this, right? So then I just would like to copy this here. No, yeah, can't use these methods. This. Just take a look at this closer. No. This. Yeah. So once again, here substring gets some values from string. If I will change from 0 to 4, it will return us just from 0 to 4. As I remember, we can use here also negative values. Sorry, not, it's incorrect. For example, -4. And it means that the order in which the method will get the values change from left to right to left. So just like this. Here 3, 3, 6. oh no, sorry, this 6. So string -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct, substring, and I did something incorrect. Like this, 5. Yeah. So we get from 5th to 0, 4 or 5 letters. Okay. What else about these methods? Sub str returning the forgot about this. Yeah, here. Yeah. Maximum length to return. So what does it mean? It means that, for example, if I change the last index, it will be returned as RIN. So if we would like to comparing these two methods, it means the substring will return us the substring from first index till last index, but here will be returned only the word from index and not word. I'm talking about characters from index and how much it should be returned. And about the slice, if we would like to talk about slice, here from second till fourth and return only this. The differences between slice and substrings is moment. Second value isn't inclusive. Forgot about. So for here we see that if we would like use just negative arguments for substring -3, just return us a 3 because it converts where we see this. So it converts negative numbers to 0, then swap first and second position, right? So all of them will be for slice in negative format, just going from last characters and the number of characters which we mentioned in methods. For substring, it means that it's incorrect. As I remember, it means that it's incorrect colon and just return the full string. For and second value, yeah, this is the main differences between them. And also 4 and -4 return last from second, -4, nothing return, and it will be empty string. I'm talking about navigate second argument. So what I would like to say, you just need to also compare them by yourself and try to compare these two strings and also I highlight one more. Where is this table? Yeah, this. Just add split also, because the split very fast method how you can separate the string into the array. Split without any indexes, just return you a string. But for example, if you would like to separate them somehow, just show you, it might be, so if you try to split a string without any values, just return the whole word. If you try to split the string using some signs, it will return you like this. And it returns, so once again, if we have only one word and I would like to have from this word an array, I just use an empty string and it returns me an array here. But for example, I have a few words here and I would like to get from this word, from two words, two values into array and use only one, for example, first. It's easily to do using the split, but not like this, actually. Okay, why I get this result? Because I need to separate them by space. For example, by comma. You know, this is just a way how you can work with words to convert them to array, and then easily to use the first, second, third word and to do something with this. Replace the words, just matching them into one word. Who knows how to join to the one words again to string. Okay, I'm talking about the join method. For example, you work with this string console. It should be not console. Let's make it more beautiful. String text. And let's store it to constant string a. Okay, separate by space, and then how to get again the string from the in this way. Just join them, and we will see the using comma. If you would like without comma, as I remember, we just use the space and we have the correct string. Okay. So anyway, is it C? Do you see the join? No, join method. No, because it's for an array. So next. Allocate compare. I would like to recommend you to work with this by yourself. So the locale compare method returns a number indicating whether a reference string comes before or after, or if the same as the given string in sort order. So, for example, we have A letter. Try to compare it with the C letter. Of course, it will be false. Because of this is a false, it returns -1. So, for example, if we have a comparing which is matching for A locale compare with A, we will see the 0. For example, if the best things, as I understand, of this method is using usually, for example, in this sort method for array, we just have some values, sort them somehow, and just have a good example of returning correct array by alphabet. So let's summarize. The string in JavaScript are encoded using UTF-16. To get a character, better to use square brackets. To get a substring, we can use slice or substring. It's a good idea, and don't forget to use lowercase and uppercase string. Use their methods to lowercase and to uppercase. If you would like to check if the string contains something, or not without or, just use index of, includes start with, end with, and find index of also method. And to compare string according to the language, use locale compare. Otherwise, they are compared by character codes. But to be honest, this method locale compare, I didn't see at all them. So, and let's go to the array. And once again, I just remind you that if you would like to take a look at the more interesting methods, just try to find it in MDN site, string maybe this, but definitely no, because in string there is a lot of other. Oh yeah, we see. There is a lot of other methods which you can use. Also, find has on property, for example, but this is, I understand that this is for object here, but anyway, for string you can use some prototype methods. Sometimes they might be useful. I really recommend you try to study them by yourself. So we've discussed chart a little bit. Oh yeah, for example, concat I didn't mention, just joining. You can use concat method to join two strings, and it depends on how you can, depends in which result you can you would like to see. You can join it to the first string or to the second string. Okay, which highlight one more. So includes very often to use, useful to use, index of, also italics, be honest, no. It seems like you might use it just for, converting to some HTML, but no. Match all, normalize, repeat, replace all, search, slice, small, split, substring, these three methods, but substr, this is the old deprecated method, usually we use just substring, or I used to use sub method, but it was, long time ago. Lowercase, uppercase, and this stream, I mentioned that we can remove spaces from the end and start of the string. And value of. So let's proceed. Arrays. Here. Yeah, as you remember in your previous lecture, you've discussed primitive types. I definitely sure that you discussed that there are how much, usually we told about 7 methods, but right now we talk about 8 methods, right? Because big int was added in the last ECMAScript changes. And also we need to remember that there is no array here, but array, this is an object. Sorry, once again. There is an 8 types of primitive types in JavaScript. They are null, undefined, Boolean number, string, symbol, begin, an object. But you should remember that array is an object. And how we can identify array? And array, usually you can identify using square brackets, like here. It might be empty, and in this case, you just see in the console just empty array. Okay, you can use identify array like array and using some number here, and it means that it will be create array length 42, but all of the values will be undefined. And you might set like this, and it will be some values here. And also a new array. Okay, this is also impossible variant of creating an array. And also I would like to highlight that the first element of an array, this is 0. Let's take a look. Don't remember, do we have it here? But once again, array. So like this, you can identify it, and you will see that it's empty. In a console, we usually can open it to see all variables or all values which have an array, and you will see the length usually, not usually, always. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have values, have a length. Length, usually this is, don't forget that starts from 0, so we have 5 elements here, but the last element in array will be 4th, right? So easiest way how you can call the last element in array, just ask how much length -1, okay? -1, and then you will see the last value for array. So also, yeah, I would like to show you array, which is incorrect. A new array will be undefined too, but if I will set 42, for example, here, yeah, you could see that we have lengths, but all they are empty. So, and it means that if you would like to call something like this, you will see an undefined. It's pretty okay. Okay. Without new array, it's still it's not works almost, but yeah, the result the same. And also please remember that all prototypes method you may find here. We will talk a little bit about them, but and also in the presentation wasn't mentioned some methods which you can help to easily work with array, and I would like to show them again. But what we can take a look in this slide, useful information, some how you can add an element to not add an element to an array. Yeah, you cannot use some not full number, so you cannot ask to add in 3.4 position. There is no such position in array. And if you call, for example, yeah, I mentioned about the length, that last element in a last element in the array you can call length -1. So here, yeah, you cannot change the length just calling this method cat length. For example, you cannot change it for 203. It's impossible. And yeah, there is a method array is array. You can call them and you can check is the value array or not. And just remember that array is array. You cannot call like just with the brackets dot array. And yeah, array prototype methods. So they're separated for two types of methods, mutator and accessor. So it means that one of them you can add something to array, and another part of the methods you can work somehow with array. Here, I will take a look at the few examples here. Let me show. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at them like this. So we have a few methods. Also, we have unshift, shift, push, and pop. This is more important methods as for me. These methods you can use to add something into the array in the end and into the start and into the end. For example, here unshift and add something into the array in the 0 position, first position. It means if you would like to use a push method, it means that this method adds something to the end. So the same. If you would like to get, you should use shift from the start into the end, pop. If you would like to use, okay. How it works? Small example, small and quick example. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, array here, right? And we would like to push. And what we would like to push? I would like to push orange. Orange, yeah. Now let be apple. I would like apple, so it will be apple. Okay, I add into the end. Push end, so pop and shift into this to the start, and getting these values, shift and pop. So splice. So yes, about the splice. Change the content of the array by removing existing elements and or editing new element. So for example, here, just methods. Yeah, so let's, without using JS Fiddle. So for example, we have array 1, 2, but value 4. So here we have a result after slicing this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. It means that we would like to change the bad value to the correct. And it means that in the second position, 1, 2, 0, remember that the first element in the array, this is a 0, so the 0 first, second. In the second position, we change in only one element, and it will be 3. No, changing, adding something, the same. Fill. So fill, it means that we're changing all elements from start to the end in the same value. So find return you very useful methods when you would like to work in some example in if block or something like this. Method returns a value of the first element in an array that satisfies the provided testing function. So here, for example, this is array function, so don't worry about this. We will take a look at this function a bit later, but for example, here we have an array 1 to 28, and we need to find the value which is divided by 14th, right? So this is only 28, and as a result, it will be 28. So important thing that returns only first value which is satisfied the how would say the word, if you have sorry, forgot. If you need to find something in this array, and for example, if we will see that 28 twice or 3 times in this array, it will be returns only 1 and only first. Okay. Yeah, and this is all method which is mentioned in this presentation about these methods. Do you have any questions? Oh, yeah.
Do we need to remember own method? Okay.
Let's. So I mentioned very important methods for strings. You will and for objects, right? So just when you will learn it just by yourself, or just for you try to prepare to the interview, for example, just remember that it's better to go to the MDN and to remember methods more useful and popular, or just useful to read maybe once or 3 times all of them. Just take a look at them, and you will definitely remember that there is such method, and you just know that there is such method which might do or work somehow with this array, object, or string, and it's easier to take a look. And I think that better to remember them and go to check again. Yes, and after a few times you will definitely remember all these methods, which you definitely need to remember with array. Push, pop, unshift, and what? Forgot the first method, but yeah, these methods, once again, unshift, shift, push, and pop, definitely. Slice, yes. Join method, and I will highlight them once again. Array. It's almost time. Yes, so we have 30 minutes. It's okay. Almost as I would like to just this is really not full methods which you need to know for array. they just a bit more. Okay, filter. We just discussed it right now. That's why I use in this website that you remember how to search in them. So entries, filter, find index, flat map for each. Includes, I've mentioned it when we talked about the string. Index of is array. We've talked about it, not popular method, but you should know just that this method exists. So join keys, last index of, map. Seems like we've saw them, but okay. Reduce, reverse, shift, skip them, slice, sum, sort, splice, values. To a kill string maybe, very rare, but yeah. For array, as you see, almost all you should know. Why you should know? Because this is method which you can help easily and faster to work with array. So let's talk about filter. What did it do? So you have example few. You have an array of elements, and you just need to easily filter them. For example, here just 6. Yeah, six elements in array. But for example, when you will work in a real project, it will be definitely not 6 elements. It will be 100 to 200 elements. And you need to quickly find something which is helpful for you. It's better to use such method. For example, here is a filter. Filter, this is a function. Method which is return new array with all elements that pass a test. Okay, so what does it mean? This method return you a new array which is pass the test. What is a test? This is a function which is allow some. I'm sorry, I forgot this word. Sometimes it's happen. Condition. Oh, condition. Yeah. So here, what does it mean that in the function, how it works? Let's take a look at how it works, okay? Because it might be unclear in such variants. It gets each word here. It works with all words. Here we have. I will recall it just a bit another item, index, and array. And just you will see that this method moment, I miss the brackets. Yeah, word isn't defined, of course, word was changed. Yeah. So what did this filter every time when you filter something? When you work with array using filter, this method goes through each elements and get each word. So we have 6. It means that 6 times this array will be 6 times this array will be not this array, but in this array 6 times the filter will works. And for get first word, you might see the index of this and array. This is just the result of this array. So you might use only item, index, or array. Sometimes array is useful, but not in such implementation. Array useful when you need to do something with array if item how to say meets with the condition sometimes, but usually we just use item like this or just like this. This is not important right now, but just item, and we will see all of them. Okay, so it means that each word goes through the filter function and do something here. It might be returns many different variants, but here just such solution, for example. Why I'm focusing on this? Because we have also other other methods, and they do approximately the same. So here you could see the parameters: callback function, element index array. This argument. I show you this. Here it calls element, but in the previous edition it was item. They called it item. So anyway, it's not so important. But yeah, callback function, what does it mean? It means that this is a callback function. Okay. And for example, you might work like this, but you might work also like callback function. And here function like this. So something like this. See? And it will be worked too. But need to here need to add the bind this. Moment. Let's return item function. Так, okay. Yeah, like this. Then context will be safe. So what I'm talking about, this is, for example, more shorter way how you can identify it, right? Here always callback function. In function you might use element index array. Just remember about the context for callback function this. Always return value, new value, not something, not array, old array. No, this will be return new array. And so, for example, if you text something like this, it will be definitely incorrect because you cannot use this result. With this, with original array, nothing happened. If you would like to call these words, it will be as it was, definitely. But if you would like to work with the result of this filter function, you need to define some new variables. So entries discussed a bit later. Find very yeah, no, just discuss just a bit later, because I would like to find a map, the same method. Yeah, not the same, pretty similar, but for example, what is similar? Creates new array in 2, going through all elements again, but it will return new array, and it always should get me. So the construction, how it calls callback function again, element index array again, context, don't forget about it, please, again. And how to, I thought just how to explain it with comparing find. I just reset. So for example, this and something here. Yeah, this. So just you saw the differences. Map map will return you definitely new array, but you know, filter short, create new array with all values which is meets expectation. I'm talking about the condition, right? For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we ask them ask the filter function return the values which is more than 4. It will be more or equal 4. Let's create example const. 1, 2, 3, more obvious. Just I would like to do this more obvious. More than 3, okay? And in this variance, you will see as a result 3, 4, 5. But in the map methods, you will see, okay, against return, and you will see that each element will be returns, but multiplied by 2. Okay, and each time when you would like to use map method, it will return the whole array with the same length I'm talking about. Not the same, but length will be definitely the same, and map works with each element and not filter them. They works with an element and do something with this element. Or for example, here just returning x multiplied by 2. But for example, we might say that if x by multiplied by 2 more than 4, return us a, for example, or just letter. Okay, Q, for example. See? It means that it might returns whatever you would like, but map will works with. I would like to explain you how you can use it in your tasks. For example, this just filters some variance, but here you working based on some array with variance values, and you may combine this variance. I know it's confusing. So this map returns you new array, sometimes with values which is not related with the basic array, but it might be useful if you would like to use somehow the original array. So reduce, just take a look at this method by yourself, but it's very important. Sometimes it might be first interesting, famous question in the interview. The second, help you in some solutions. And reverse, very popular in an interview question when someone would like ask you how you can revert the, like in a mirror. For example, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and you turn in the array in 3, 2, 1, for example, right? Such oriented topics. So this method just help you to work with the array reverse. It means that it was 1, 2, 3, and as a result, you will see 3, 2, 1. This is how to work with, for example, anagramma. In English, it should be called somehow like anagramma too, right? No. Yeah, it's correct, but it's in Russian. How it called in English? Without Sabalin. Incorrect. Yeah, so for example, is it called anagram or not? In Polish. Okay. So there is some very popular and famous task. For example, you will have like just sorry, don't remember just right now. But for example, we have like this. Yes, and it might be questioned, how does such type of words are calling? Or for example, how you can reverse them. And this method for string, this is very, so how you can work with this. You just need to identify that it's, sorry, I don't want to be incorrect. How it called, even in Russian. No, not in grammar. It called palindrome. And we will try to find it in English. Yeah, palindrome. So, is it correct? Yeah. So it calls palindrome. And so the very useful and famous question, how identify that the word is palindrome? How you can do this? What do you think? Like this. Just any idea. It's okay if it will be incorrect. I will tell you.
Sorry, I missed the requirement.
So how you can identify that this word is palindrome? The palindrome, this is okay. Yeah, palindrome. This is a word, number, or phrase in other sequence of characters which is read the same backward as forwards. So I've typed you know, the example like this. This is correct. It's not a word, but you know, easily identify this that this is the same. Do you need a definition of this term again? So it means that the words from left to right and from right to left read the same and sound the same. Do you see?
I think we can reverse the position of the string.
Yeah, this is what you need to do, but this is a string.
We can move from the last position to the starting position.
And how, in which method you would like to do this?
Oh.
Yeah, that's why, you know, the remembering these methods, it's important. And important to see the many examples how to work with these methods, right? So that's why I recommend you the code words. And for example, so what I need, this is a string. I need to reverse them, right? And not reverse. I need just identify, is it the same word or not? So this is original word. Okay, let's call it like this. So what I should do? I should do if the word's correct, if they are equal, then I should return true, for example. It's no matter what return, but I will return true, okay? So what does it mean? It means that I need to create word 2, which will be reverted and compare them, okay? So let's check. Word 2, I need to, this word should be, just revert them. How we can do? Give an original word. Easiest, for example, I know the way when we can revert array. So this is not array, this is a string. We need to do the string as an array, right? Split methods. Let's check, is it okay or not? Because maybe I remember incorrect methods. Okay. No, something incorrect. What about this? Statement. What's incorrect? Okay, is it correct? Incorrect. And yes, let's take a look at this. Why is usually Russian? Yeah, split. Yeah, in order. So yeah, we should. Okay, I remember. I remember that I need to have this word. Let's take a look at here. Is it still not okay? Yes, it should be.
I think you use your return in the if condition.
Yeah. Console.log. You're definitely correct. Sure. Yeah. So let's use it like this. Okay, we've got array, and then we will. How it called? Traverse. Forgot. Traverse. Yeah. And join them. So this, this is how you can check like this in one line. Usually this is the answer which expected interviewer in such situation. Okay. Also there is a words and anagram. Also how to define and how to work with anagram, something like this. This is the simplest way using these methods. So also I would like to about say a couple words, some methods which you you have an array, for example, and you would like to know is does the element require some condition? For example, here dividing by 2, right? It's not dividing by 2. It's called like rest, maybe in English, which is equal 0. So is it okay? It's true. For is it so I would like to highlight these words. It finds an element for which the provided function returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. So if something meets expectation, it's true. If not, false. That's all. So it means that, for example, we don't know which element is divided by 2, or it means that 2 and 4 meet expectation, right, here, but we don't know which exactly element was okay. So it means that this method might use for, in common sense, at least 1, right? But it might be 2, 3, 4, and so on, so on. Sort, helping to sort the array, but there is some conditions. Just take a look at this more closer by yourself, okay? Here there is an examples how it use usually, these 2 examples. Just be careful and take a look at this closer. Splice, as I remember, adding some elements into the array. We've discussed it a bit earlier, right? Also values. This method some methods are very useful for loops. Let's discuss. We have a few minutes, not a few minutes, but okay, let's take 10 minutes more. Not this, and talk about loops. Which type of loops we have? As I remember, you had in the previous lesson something like this, right? Yes, just reminding me that there is a for loop. Here is just example defined in a counter. This is a condition, and how to say this? Changing the counter, right? So, and here we have a body of the block of this block, and we can do something here with this element I. Array I, call the element which is have appropriate index here. So for O of a for in, this is for this is loop for where we can use only index, for example, or only values from the array. So here, let fruit of fruit, this is a variable of this array. And here, as a result, we will see each time array, orange, and plum. And for in, this is for keys. It means 0, 1, 2, 3, and we can work with this index somehow. In this example, we just see an example in a screen alert with the same apple, orange, pear each time. So, and I've talked with you with filter and map, and also for array we have for each methods. I should open it here somewhere. Values. Yeah, for each. And this method helps you to work with an array too. The same things, element, index, array. So this method for in, for off, sometimes you can use, sometimes they might be helpful, but usually we use for each. Easier, and it looks more beautiful in one line might be, or shorter. Yeah, take a look at these methods. Do the same, looping through the array in the same way. Just instead of for and defining defining counter condition and doing something with this counter, we have this more beautiful way to work with an array. Okay, so map, filter, sort for each reduce. This is for function which help you to work with array with all elements. Other methods, for example, flat map and flat, they are helping you to open the array. So for example, we have this array with few. Okay, so inside main array, we have subarray, let's call it like this. Flat will help you to open subarray into the main array. As a result, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, like one array. You should know this method. You will use them maybe just a bit later. Maybe not right now, but a bit later, definitely. And flat map, do something similar. Just take a look at this. Find index, find you an index of element which is satisfied the condition and returns -0 if there is no such elements. The same parameters, the same callback function, element, index array, they have almost all methods have pretty similar parameters. So, and entries, find. So I really recommend you take through all of them and try to remember the main at least. I know that they are not highlighted as a main, but trying to work with all of them. I will text you here in this chat methods which I recommend you remember. Okay, and actually just mentioned about map and set. In some ECMAScript, as I remember, in 2016, 2015 was added map and set. Maps create you some kind of map with key and value also, but they are listed like, do we have it in a slide or not? Don't remember. No, sorry. So in a full screen map. Here just listed only how it works, but not like it looks. Okay, so here was created new map, set 1 and a string k. So it means 1, this is a key, string 1, this is a value as I remember. And Boolean key. Yeah, so let's take a look at this more closer. No, this is a string. Okay, this is a picture and let map and new map. Just would like you to see that this is not the same as an array or object. See, you have a size here, and here there is an entries. How we can add an entries? Using set method. Okay, 1 and str1. And once again, and you will see it's like this, key and value. So this is a key, this is a value. Sometimes this is useful construction, sometimes useful but rare. And you have a bunch of methods which you can work with the map. They are listed here: set, get, has, delete. This is how to work with keys and values. Clear size. Size, you can get a count of element. So key values entries, you can return for keys, values, okay? And for the set, the same. Let's do the same. So, and as I remember, like this. Can we copy this again? No. Like this. 1A. E, not like this, like this. No. Yeah, it's not a variable set. Pretty similar, but there is a differences. The methods how you can work with it, they are similar. Just that's all about map and set. The same. You could take a look through the methods for map and set here, but to be honest, as I remember, this is all. There is no a lot of methods for map and set. Yeah, they are all listed here, and this is the same which was mentioned in the presentation, and for the set the same. This is a new features. Sometimes they are really useful because it's easier to work with keys or values using map or set. But there is a lot of data better to store in object and into the arrays. And also, I will check how it's called in Russian, and then I will call it in English. Linked list, as I remember. Yeah. I really recommend you to see also this. Maybe not right now, or is it, if it's interesting for you? This is related. This is interesting and famous question in an interview. I'm not sure it will be in the interview for EPAM or not, but this is a good example of how to work with object and arrays. Okay, this is called linked lists, and some, the special topic, some kind of special topic, interesting task. I will send it to you here. Okay. Okay, so I will stop. Okay, recording.